It's lovely weather in the place where day baseball is still as special as ever. We're at Wrigley Field on a warm, sunny Friday afternoon on the north side of Chicago. A little breeze blowing in from Lake Michigan as we open a three-game visit to Wrigleyville. Always a special trip, and we're here at a good time on the calendar for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good morning from Wrigley Field, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. The D-backs and the Chicago Cubs, first of a three-game weekend set here. All three are day games, as has been the trend recently for the D-backs. Yesterday in Houston, they got a tremendous pitching performance from Zack Greinke, and Bob, today they hand the baseball to Archie Bradley.
And hoping for more of the same that we saw yesterday down in Houston, more of the same we saw from Archie in his last start against the San Diego Padres. His command of the fastball was really good, pounding the bottom of the strike zone on the corners, which really set up that big curveball. Archie's been the potential ace in waiting for years in this Diamondbacks organization. Hopefully he's ready to take that next step and become that ace.
How does he handle an especially dangerous Cub lineup here today?
I think you have to attack. Believe it or not, they'll take their walks, and if you walk a few guys and then give up a homer, the damage is going to be even worse. So attack the bottom of that strike zone, get ahead early, put the Cubs hitters on the defensive.
Yeah, Chris Bryant and these Cubbies are pounding the baseball right now. They're off to their best start since 1907, and Bryant driving in runs and scoring runs.
Yeah, Bryant kind of the marquee player in this lineup, which is hard to believe because they're all having tremendous offensive years. Jason Hayward starting to pick it up, but Chris Bryant just beating on that video board out there in left field. They may have to move it back a little further on the other side of Waveland Avenue.
So we're just about set for first pitch coming up shortly here on Fox Sports Arizona. When we come back from Wrigley Field, Jody Jackson has more on today's D-back starter, Archie Bradley. Back from Chicago with more after this.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money.
Wrigley Field as the Arizona series wrapping up a 5-game road trip. Jody Jackson back with you as we continue to get you set for first pitch. Today, taking the hill, 23-year-old Archie Bradley, a first-round pick by the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2011, seems to be putting everything together. His last time out, 7 1/3 innings, 9 strikeouts, and he's won back-to-back games. He's had 3 starts so far, so he looks to continue the trend here today against the Chicago Cubs. Now, for the native of Oklahoma, I asked him about being here at historic Wrigley Field and pitching here for the first time.
It'll be my first time there as a professional baseball player, but kind of the way I've approached things this year, my attitude and the way I've felt about everything is it's just a normal day at the yard. It's my job now. I'm not, excited about facing anyone or excited about being anywhere. It's just about, trying to get a win and trying to help this team improve.
Us media always, go that route. But, it's interesting that you say that. You don't worry about where it is or who it is. You also mentioned after your last start, which was very solid, obviously, 9 strikeouts, 7 1/3 innings, that you're not worried about the velocity. You just are more worried about the pitch and just having the result. Can you kind of detail that a little bit?
Yeah, I go back to when I was throwing the ball really well in the minor leagues in 2013 and previously, I was 94, 95, getting up to 97, 98, but I was really lacking the command. I had a lot of walks. And even in my brief starts here, this year and last year, velocity may not have been there, but even the command wasn't there as much as I'd like it to be. And I just really took, the things that Butch and I have been working on and put them to use in AAA. And, some starts I will be 94, 95, but others I'm going to be, 92, 93. And I'm not so much concerned about the velocity. You can tell more about a hitter's swing based on how he's reacting to your fastball than if I turn around and it says 95 compared to 91. And I'm more focused on executing the pitch as to where I'm placing the pitch, the location of it, and where it ends up compared to if it's 95 or 96.
With you and Butch, you talked about the time you spent in the offseason. When he first came to you with some ideas to simplify your delivery, what was your reaction?
With open arms. I was obviously going through some tough times after getting hit last year, coming back and struggling in the big leagues, getting sent down. I just never really felt right again. I never felt like myself or felt comfortable on the mound. And when he took the job, the next day he gave me a call, was like, "Hey, I want to go to work," and I was like, "I'll be there tomorrow. Like, let's get this thing going." And I really do owe him a lot, for giving up his time this offseason, time with his family, to work with me so much this offseason and get me to where I am. And it's just a continuing process to improve and get better each time we're out there.
Just on their lineup, when you look at it, what are some of the things that strike you as far as what you need to do?
Well, first off, the record speaks for itself. They have a lot of young hitters, but young but veteran at the same time. They have a good mix, good group of guys. I think the biggest thing is just not giving them too much credit. I think that's the biggest thing us pitchers do, especially going into Wrigley, which is a crazy place right now. It seems like every guy in their lineup is going to be an all-star this year, and you just have to take it at bat by bat. You can't look ahead. You can't, get ahead of yourself. You have to take it pitch by pitch and just focus big time on executing each pitch and understanding the scouting report you have on each hitter and sticking to that and not getting ahead or trying to get too cute. Just, throwing your game and not letting the atmosphere or their lineup dictate what you want to do.
Well, and one of those batters in today's lineup, Miguel Montero, has had his eye on Archie Bradley for a long time, of course, as a former teammate, but he told me today he had his eye on him last time out, was really proud of Archie in that 9 strikeout effort. So he's been watching the box score when Archie Bradley is pitching. Great matchup coming your way. Stay tuned when we come back. My conversation with Chip Hale as he gets his team ready for this matchup against Chicago.
Arizona is brought to you by Lone Butte Casino. Get in on big wins. By Gigablast, 100 times more powerful internet from Cox. Bring on tomorrow. By Tire Pro, the best selection of Continental and General brand tires. Visit one of the 22 locally owned Arizona Tire Pros locations. By Papa Murphy, love at 425 degrees.
Here at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, but have not been so friendly to opponents coming in, that is for sure. Meanwhile, the Arizona Diamondbacks feeling good about a solid all-around win yesterday in Houston, led by Zack Greinke, but the team played well. So Chip Hale, the manager of this club, he's looking for that to continue. And earlier today, I asked Chip about the challenge of facing the 37-15 Chicago Cubs.
If we play like we did yesterday and we get a pitching performance from Archie like we did from Zach, we should be in good shape. But you know what? They're a real good club. You give them the respect that they deserve, and then you go out and you try to beat them. That's the best way to do it. I mean, play pitch to pitch, inning to inning, and we know if we execute like we can, we have a very good chance of winning games.
You know, Archie, with his last outing, 7 1/3, 9 strikeouts, the next step now is to be able to be consistent and maybe come out and do something similar here today. What have you seen from him that give you that hope that he'll be able to do that?
Well, I think the key is to give us a quality start. Get through the 6th inning, hopefully, you know, give the team a chance to win, excuse me. So do we expect the strikeouts? Do we expect him to go through 7? We just want him to give us a chance to win. We know this lineup we're facing is a good one. The wind probably is going to be blowing out. He's got to pitch down in the zone. And when he pitches up, it's got to be for effect. It's got to be after setting the tone down in the zone. So it'll be a challenge. It'll be a big crowd. It'll be exciting for him. He's got to, you know, temper all that stuff. So it's also a learning process for him. So we just hope he keeps us in the game.
So that is the challenge for Archie. Meanwhile, John Lackey, well, the Diamondbacks were able to get to him on April 7th when the Cubs were at Chase Field, but unfortunately the D-backs did not win that game, could not corral this Cubs offense. Going to be a great game coming your way, a beautiful day here at Wrigley Field. First pitch is up next with Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly here on Fox Sports Arizona.
Welcome back to Chicago, Illinois. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you from Wrigley Field along the shores of Lake Michigan. The wind is blowing in from the lake today. That's in from right field and right center. So a tough day for the left-hand hitters in this beautiful ballpark. Bob, couldn't have asked for a nicer day for the Cubs and the Diamondbacks.
Boy, the humidity at this time of year in the Midwest can be stifling, but very comfortable day here with wind blowing off the lake, as you mentioned. Chip Hale putting a lineup out there that hopefully will hit it right through the wind. Gene Segura will be leading it off today at second base. Michael Bourne out in right field with that wind at his back. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb at third. Wellington Castillo returning home. He'll be doing the catching. Chris Owings out in center field. Yasmani Tomas and his gimpy knee out in left field. Nick Ahmed at shortstop, and Archie Bradley on the mound.
Chip Hale's ball club continuing this stretch of 7-day games in an 8-day span. First of 3 afternoon games at Wrigley Field. So, Bob, time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game today.
Well, let's make the confines friendly. Ernie Banks, first time he walked into Wrigley Field, said, aren't these friendly confines? Because the fans are so close to the field, but we want to make them friendly to the Diamondbacks today.
Try and confine that Cubs offense. Cubbies are rolling. D-backs lost 3 of 4 to Chicago. That was in the second series of this season back in April at Chase Field, and the Diamondbacks in that set were outscored 27-14. But we've got a fresh set of ball games here this afternoon starting over the weekend. Cubs 37-15. That's the franchise's best start to a season since 1907. They're already 8.5 up atop the NL Central.
They're threatening to run away with that Central Division before the All-Star break this year. And speaking of All-Star break, they may have about 12 players going to San Diego for the All-Star game this year if you look at the recent voting in the National League.
Well, Archie Bradley has finished his warm-up session along the bullpens down the right field line, and here come John Lackey and the Chicago Cubs. They just took 3 of 4 from the Dodgers in this ballpark this week. They have lost only one since May 23rd. They've won their last 3 series, and it's Lackey on the mound to open up this one. He is your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for Chicago. The veteran right-hander is having a nice season with the Cubs, his first here after spending parts of the last 2 years in St. Louis. And Lackey this year has won half of his starts. He's pitched to a 3.16 ERA.
Now throwing a few more off-speed pitches this year than in seasons past. Still has that sinker-cutter combination. Throws a curveball, throws a changeup, throws a slider. This guy does not usually get hit hard. Doesn't give up a lot of base hits. The opponent's average only 209. Very emotional guy out there on the mound. If he's upset about something, you will know it quickly.
Let's take a look at the Cubs around him. Our eye on defense for Chicago is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Tommy La Stella starting at third base today. He'll be flanked by Javier Baez at short, Ben Zobrist at second, Anthony Rizzo over at first base. The outfield will be Chris Bryant in left, Dexter Fowler in center, and Jason Hayward in right. Former D-back Miguel Montero behind the plate today for the right-hander John Lackey.
Hunter Wendelstad, the crew chief, is the plate umpire this afternoon. He'll call the balls and strikes on just a gorgeous Friday afternoon on the north side of Chicago. You might remember John Lackey made his Cubs debut against the D-backs at Chase Field, and the first batter he faced in a Cubs uniform was Gene Segura, and Segura homered off him in that at bat when Lackey started to chase the second series of the year. Segura has very good numbers against Lackey career, and he is set to lead it off for the Diamondbacks. First of 3 against Miguel Montero and the Chicago Cubs. Diamondbacks split 2 games in Houston, coming off a brilliant pitching performance yesterday by Zach Greinke. Archie Bradley hoping to match that here today. We are set to go. The Cubs and the D-backs. Love these 1:20 starts local time in Chicago.
They give us plenty of time to prep the fans for the big game.
That's right. 301 and 5 homers for Segura. Wind blowing in like this, I'm going to guess it's better for the right-hand hitters than the left-hand hitters.
Yeah, right-handed pull hitters, you know, from left center around to the foul pole in left field. The ball should carry a little bit. We anticipate it'll get knocked down if it's hit from center field around to the right field foul pole.
Quickly, Lackey ahead of Segura, 0-2. Gene 10 for 22 career against John Lackey. You may remember he homered twice against Lackey his first 2 times up. The second was an inside the park homer. That was the play on which Kyle Schwarber blew up his knee and was lost for the season. Lackey begins with a strikeout. Michael Bourne in the lineup today. Michael hitting .333 in 14 games for the Diamondbacks. He's got 7 RBIs. It's a jam shot pop up third base for La Stella, who's got it in foul ground. Very quickly 2 outs for Lackey on just 4 pitches.
You know, talking about that wind blowing in off Lake Michigan, that big board in right field that they have the lineups on right now might change the wind a little bit. If you hit a low line drive, the wind might not affect it nearly as much as it did in seasons past.
Part of the renovations that are ongoing at Wrigley Field, the giant digital scoreboard in left field and left center, and that one in the right field corner. Goldie 263 and 10 home runs, leading the major leagues in walks. And he takes strike 1. Paul Goldschmidt 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday in Houston. That snapped a 7-game hit streak. A fly ball out to Chris Bryant, who's starting in left field. Gets hung up in that wind, swirling a bit up there. A 6-pitch inning for John Lackey. Archie Bradley coming up. Here at Wrigley Field, Diamondbacks and Cubs. Your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the D-backs is Archie Bradley, the 23-year-old right-hander, 2-0 in 3 starts this year, and coming off an outstanding performance Sunday. He went over the Padres at Chase Field. Bob, what was the difference for Archie last time out?
Well, I'm not sure if the pace led the way to improved control or whether the improved control caused him to work faster, but whatever the reason, he was pounding the bottom of the strike zone both with his fastball and his curveball. He was working quickly. Defense was on their toes behind him. He just looked like a very confident pitcher on the mound last time out.
Very smooth, easy flowing, less mechanical delivery, it seemed, and we'll keep an eye on that here as Dexter Fowler is set to lead it off for the Cubs. And this is a guy who's been getting on base at a .432 clip. That's second best in the majors behind only his teammate Ben Zobrist. Fowler hitting .312 with 6 home runs. 2 of those homers this year have been leadoff home runs, so be careful here. Archie falls behind 2-0. Trying to stay ahead of these Cubs hitters. First pitch strikes like they were last time out against the Padres will be critical for Archie today. Balls and 2 strikes.
Nice job jumping right back in the count, coming right back into that strike zone. Defensive swing that time from Fowler. See the OPS, on base plus slugging percentage, batting in the leadoff spot this year. Dexter Fowler with a comfortable lead over Matt Carpenter.
Archie Bradley down 2-0 in the count, comes back and strikes out Dexter Fowler. The lineup for Joe Madden and his Chicago Cubs, they are rolling right now, 37-15.
A lot of ways to beat you with this Cubs offense. Dexter Fowler just went down on strikes to start the ball game for the Cubbies. Jason Hayward will be out in right field batting second. Chris Bryant in left. Anthony Rizzo at first base. Ben Zobrist at second. Tommy La Stella getting a rare start at third base today. Former D-back Miguel Montero is yet to throw out a base stealer this season. 0 for 18. He'll be behind the plate. Javier Baez at short and John Lackey on the mound.
Jason Hayward at the plate. And Archie throws a first pitch strike. Hayward hitting .229, just 2 home runs. But he homered here yesterday in their win over the Dodgers. It was his first home run at Wrigley Field all year. Archie quickly had no balls and 2 strikes.
The Cubs as a team hit 4 home runs in that ball game against the Dodgers yesterday. Mostly line drives, with the exception of Chris Bryant, who hit one off the big board out there in left field again.
Archie did a good job that time of keeping that knuckle curveball down. Went down and in again. Fastball got out over the plate, but Hayward was caught looking. 2 strikeouts started off for Archie Bradley.
You see Wellington sets up inside. Archie missed his spot, but threw it right in the strike zone anyway. Hayward caught looking that time.
Chris Bryant. Bryant hitting .279. He leads the Cubs with 13 home runs and 40 RBIs. Second in the National League in runs batted in, behind only the Rockies' Nolan Arenado.
Boy, after those first 2 pitches to Dexter Fowler out of the zone, he threw 7 straight strikes before that first pitch ball to Chris Bryant.
Adjusting on the fly. 1-0 pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss. A good one from Archie that time. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind is blowing in at a pretty fair clip now. Boy, Archie, this is what you're looking for. Jumping ahead of these guys. 1-2. A strike away from opening up by getting the side in order. You got Fowler. You got Hayward. The 1-2 to Bryant. Swing and a miss. Oh, he can't hang on. Ball, that might still be a live ball. I don't know if he fouled it off or not.
I think it was definitely a cross-up.
Hunter Wendelstedt is not. Oh, he's signaling. What he's signaling. Chip Hale's looking for an explanation. He's just waving his arms. And Chip Hale is out here now saying, what are you calling? Didn't hear a foul tip up here.
Yeah, you could read Chip's lips there. He said he didn't foul that off.
I don't believe he did either. Let's see if we can have a look.
Well, certainly Wellington Castillo was caught by surprise on that pitch. I think he was expecting a breaking ball. Ready, you see his hands turning over. He was going to block that pitch in the dirt. That's just a swing and a miss right there.
That's a drop third strike. He didn't come close to hitting that ball. But we're going to keep going. He's going to have to throw him 4 strikes. That wasn't even close. You're right. It was a bad cross-up, Bob, and that sound we heard was the thud of the chest protector on Wellington Castillo.
I can't understand the reason for the cross-up. He's not giving multiple signs, or at least he wasn't.
So you don't want to give Chris Bryant 4 strikes. Oh, come on.
Make it 5.
Gonna have to be.
You know, I was going to say it before the game got started. Hunter Wendelstedt will miss some strikes right down the middle of the plate today.
Well, that was a beautiful pitch right at the knees. But it's 2-2. We're going to keep going.
And ideally, you get Bryant anyway here to end this bottom half of the first inning. But Archie's going to have to throw more pitches to make that happen.
Ryan's fighting him off now. He's been given a second and a third life by Hunter Wendelstedt, the plate umpire.
I mentioned the home run Bryant hit in the ball game yesterday against the Dodgers. Mike Bolsinger, he made him look silly on a couple of curveballs, but went to the well once too often. Bryant is a real good breaking ball hitter if it stays in the strike zone.
This has turned into an 8-pitch at bat. Here's number 8. And he drives it to left center field. Ryan will take the turn and head for second. It was and should have been a strikeout. Instead, it's his 11th double. That's a shame.
That is a shame. Another good fastball out on the outside corner. Bryant gets it off the end of the bat just a little bit. Boy, Yasmani Tomas just now coming into your picture. He's not moving well at all out there in left field.
Well, he sat out yesterday's game with that balky left knee. Mike Butcher going to make a mound visit now and sort of get Archie to refocus. He's had a couple of bad breaks on 2 missed calls by the plate umpire. And now Bryant is in scoring position with 2 down for Anthony Rizzo. Well, he had the side in order, 1, 2, 3. Should be sitting in the dugout right now. Rizzo, 239. He homered here yesterday, his 12th of the year. D-backs have the shift on for the left-hand hitting Rizzo. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, on the first base side of second. And there's the strike on 1. Rizzo has hit safely in 4 of his last 5 games, including his home run yesterday. Wellington Castillo having some fun back there with Hunter Wendelstedt. Well, the former Cub back in town. Going to go through a series of baseballs.
Watch the throw back here by Wellington Castillo. Rizzo is so close to the plate. He actually gets beamed on the throwback.
He's leading the majors in hit by pitch. So we'll fight it out right here. Oh, and 2. Archie throwing strikes. Well, it's turned into a 20-pitch first. A clear swing and a miss on what should have been a drop third strike. Instead, the at-bat to Bryant kept going. Then a strike at the knees that was called a ball. He's at second, 1 and 2 on Rizzo. 21st pitch of this inning coming up. Should have been out of the inning, Bob, on the 13th pitch. Instead, he'll throw number 22 right here.
Obviously, that'll take its toll down the road on Archie Bradley, possibly shorten up his outing today.
2 and 2 on Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo is struggling right now. He's trying to dig his way out of a deep, deep pit of despair. He recently went through a 3 for 41 stretch at the plate. The batting average has dropped 40 points since the middle of May.
And he's not a guy that strikes out very much. It's just been a lot of weak contact leading to easy outs.
Up the middle into the shift. Ahmed is right there, and Archie Bradley finally is out of that first inning. A great job by Archie to strand Bryant at second and keep it scoreless.
means a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Jake Lamb will lead off the second inning for the Diamondbacks against right-hander John Lackey. No score here at Wrigley Field. Lackey had a 6-pitch first inning, and he throws ball 1 to Lamb. We contrast that with the first inning Archie Bradley just had to work his way through. 277 and 9 homers for Jake. Really swinging the bat well as of late. I mean, Hunter Wendelstedt back there was like he was signaling the hokey pokey.
Yeah.
Spin yourself around. I mean,
put your right hand in, put your right hand out.
He really wasn't signaling anything that we've ever seen before. There's strike 2.
And obviously Hunter Wendelstedt is the closest umpire to that play, and if there was any sound of ball tipping or bat tipping ball, Wendelstedt was the only guy that probably would have heard it.
You don't usually see that bad a cross up on what should have been a third strike. I guess that had to be what threw him.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. The cross up probably cost him all those extra pitches and that base hit in the first inning.
2-2. There's a fly ball out to Jason Hayward in deep right field, and he makes a running catch. The 3-time Gold Glover takes extra bases away from Jake Lamb.
Low line drive this time by Jake. That ball looked like it was headed toward the Ivy out there in right center field. Nice running catch by Hayward.
He's made a few of those lately.
It's just out of desperation right there. That ball was clubbed. Kept it down below the wind.
The former Cub, Wellington Castillo. 2 hits, 2 big hits in the win at Houston yesterday. 271 and 7 home runs. John Lackey ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. There's the crew chief, Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. Edson Lackey's Cubs debut was against the D-backs at Chase Field. That was April 7th. He won that game. Chicago scored 14 runs, but as you can see there, Diamondbacks got to him. 6 runs, 8 hits in 6 innings. And Chip Hale was telling us today that the D-backs had success versus Lackey in that last start, and it was early in the ballgame. Diamondbacks scored in each of the first 3 innings against Lackey that night. And Chip said what worked for Lackey was that he completely changed his game after getting hit hard early. Went to a lot of soft stuff later on. He really made an adjustment. And as Chip put it, he kind of put us to sleep. So the goal this time is to have that early success against Lackey, but this time adjust and be ready to maintain it.
I heard an interview on the radio yesterday. David Ross, one of the other catchers for the Chicago Cubs, talking about that very thing with Lackey, with Lester, with Arrieta.
The little tapper, Listella's going to have to charge. He can't make the bare hand play. Castillo's aboard.
Just to finish that thought quickly, David Ross was saying that these guys are so good at reading opposing hitters' swings. If they're out in front of the fastball a little bit, they take a little bit off the next time, see if you can't get them to swing and miss. If they're right on your heater, then maybe put a little extra on the next one. And certainly John Lackey's been doing it for years.
And Lackey is very much primarily a fastball pitcher. He throws almost all fastballs, and when he was getting hit hard the first 3 innings, he was able to adjust and just stayed with the soft stuff that worked. Chris Owings in center field today. Strike 1. That's a base hit for Castillo, the first hit for the D-backs.
Make a note, an infield hit for Wellington Castillo.
For the catcher.
That's important.
Beat it out with his speed, that catcher speed. 287 and 2 homers for Chris. CO had a couple of hits and an RBI yesterday in the win over the Astros at Minute Maid Park. Down 0-2. He looks fast, doesn't he?
He really does. He's aerodynamic.
Well, I think he's more buoyant than aerodynamic. Sink or float. I'm going to go with float. How much of a challenge, Bob, is it playing center field for Chris in this ballpark, do you think?
Not as much as you might expect. Obviously, the brick wall behind the ivy. The ivy looks so nice and inviting and soft and springtime, but there's bricks behind it.
He's a brick house. Close one. Lackey doesn't get the call he wanted it. 1-2.
Actually, the corner outfielders in this ballpark have the bigger issues. Yeah, Lackey, I mentioned it. He won't hesitate to stand out there on the mound and show up an umpire or a teammate or an opponent.
He has had body language issues before.
Yeah, the corner outfielders here, obviously you've got those side walls to deal with. You've got the bullpens right off the field of play. You've got the area they call the wells and straightaway right, straightaway left, where the fence kind of does a zig and gets a little bit deeper. But center field is probably the easiest position to play in the outfield here at Wrigley. Of course, the sun is a factor. The wind is a factor. And the bleacher bums are a factor. I mean, they probably know Chris Owings' grade point average in high school.
They're a little more yuppified than they were back in the day, aren't they?
A little more so, yeah. But I mean, they're good baseball fans. They do their homework, they do their research, and then they make fun of you for 9 innings.
It is a great place if you've never been to sit out there, have an old style or two, and watch some baseball on a nice afternoon like today. That is, every baseball fan should do that at least once. Come out here and sit in the bleachers. It is special. Very good at bat here by Chris Owings. A couple of check swings. He's taken some close ones. He's worked it full 3-2. And now this will be pitch number 8 in the at bat from John Lackey. So what you're saying is you run full speed into that ivy and you're going to feel the bricks.
You're going to feel the bricks. And the ball may stay in the ivy. And that's one thing you have to know as a visiting outfielder. If that ball is in the ivy, just raise your hands. Don't try to dig it out.
Great at bat by Chris Owings. We've talked about his improved plate discipline, Bob, all season long. That was a really good example of it. He worked a walk.
Well, it's so important for a guy with his speed. You want Chris Owings on base as often as possible. Now, in this particular situation with Wellington Castillo on at second base, Chris won't be able to turn him loose over there at first. But as I mentioned before, Miguel Montero's had all kinds of issues throwing out runners this year. I would expect the Diamondbacks, if they get the right guys on in the right situation, to really push the pedal to the floor.
Yasmani Tomas back in the lineup today. Sat out yesterday in Houston with what Chip Hale described as a balky knee. It's that left knee, the same one that kept him out for 2 weeks during spring training. And he takes strike 1. But we are told that he was fine this morning, so Yasmani is back in there today. But still trying to dig his way out from what is now a 6-for-42 skid. 1-1. The left knee is the bad one. At least it was bad yesterday, better today. But as you said, he didn't appear to be moving all that well in left field earlier. Castillo at second, Owings at first. 1 out.
That potential base stealing threat out there at second base. Wellington Castillo got the attention of John Lackey.
He's shaking him up.
Neither Cub middle infielder is even remotely close to the base at second, and Wellington just kept walking farther and farther off the bag.
In the dirt. Everybody stays put. 2 balls and 1 strike on El Tanque Yasmani Tomas. And the biggest thing the D-backs coaches have been seeing from Yasmani is that he's swinging at balls and not strikes. Tomas, Chip told us, has been getting his hits, but the issue has been pitch selection. As it is for all the D-backs hitters. Look, when you're swinging at balls, Chip said, it's difficult to get base hits. It's that simple. Lackey had a 6-pitch first inning. He's already thrown 21 pitches in the second. Good take by Yasmani. And he's ahead 3 balls and 1 strike. This is very much improved plate discipline from Tomas. So Lackey went to a full count and lost Owings with a base on balls. Now Tomas is ahead 3-1. Fly ball right center field. Dexter Fowler's over there. Castillo will bluff and hold at second. 2 down. So they'll look for a 2-out RBI hit from Nick Ahmed. Nick batting .207. He's got 3 homers. Pitch number 30 for Lackey is in there, and it's 0-1.
Back-to-back breaking balls to start this sequence to Nick. Now you got a battle. Chokes up a little bit off the knob of the bat.
Time granted by Hunter Wendelstedt. Very late time. Lackey's not thrilled. Who was it? Was it him or you? It was him.
That pitch was another slider. Not that he's going to come back with it again. And that's kind of the cat and mouse game that a pitcher and a catcher and a hitter will play sometimes. He does come back with another slider. Wanted that one too. Get a tin cup.
Wants them all. Not a bad pitch at all.
Good pitcher's pitch ahead in the count. Just drop it right off that outside corner. Hopefully get the swing and a miss or weak contact, but not a strike.
Last 3 days, including today, Cubs opponents 0 for 13 with men on base. 2 on and 2 out. A 1-2 count on Ahmed. Another long set by Lackey. And he strikes him out. A single and a walk. Lackey strands 2. No score at Wrigley Field. The Diamondbacks and the Cubs.
The second inning. It's time to take a look back in history presented by Geico. On this day in 2003, Cub slugger Sammy Sosa According to him, he accidentally used a batting practice bat that he used to put on shows for the fans.
You mean the one full of rubber balls?
Yeah, the one full of cork.
Oh, it said cork.
Tim McClellan, the home plate umpire that day, he's been around the block a few times. He knows a cork bat when he sees one. And Sammy was ejected from the ball game, suspended for 8 games. It was reduced to 7 after an appeal, but Sammy's explanation was the fans come out here to watch me hit home runs in batting practice, so I had one of those bats just so I could put on a show for the fans.
Well, it's just a public service, really.
Absolutely.
Ben Zobrist, who had a sensational month of May, leads off the second against Archie Bradley. And once again, Archie throws a first pitch strike. Zobrist hitting .339. He's got 7 homers. 0-2. Zobrist having a sensational season. Look at that OPS. Part of that is an on-base percentage that right now is at .439, the best in the major leagues. He rolls that one into the shift. Segura in front of Ahmed, one away. Boy, Bob, we have seen ever since the first 2 pitches to Dexter Fowler, Archie Bradley throwing strike 1 and strike 2 right away.
Yeah, really good to see. The mound here at Wrigley Field, occasionally opposing pitchers will say it's a lot different than the one down in the bullpen in right field. It may take you know, a few pitches, maybe a few innings to settle in. Hopefully Archie's done that already.
Tommy La Stella, the starter at third base, and there's another first pitch strike. La Stella, 286. He's homered twice.
You know, the funny thing about Zobrist, for years I've been saying I thought he was a really good National League player, trapped in the American League because of his versatility. But there's so many other versatile players on the Cubs that he's the regular second baseman.
Baez has played everywhere, and lately they've had Chris Bryant playing everywhere.
Estella, another guy that can play multiple positions on the infield, can play outfield in a pinch.
Sends this out to left center field, and it rolls in between Tomas and Owens. CO drops it out there. Tomas picks it up, and La Stella's in at second. Chris Owens ranging well over to left center field to pick up that ball, but he dropped into the warning track. Might have been a double anyway.
Oh, was struck well. Bad curveball that time. Hung up out over the outside part of the plate. They're going to give La Stella a double all the way. That ball was hit toward the gap. That was going to be a tough throw from Chris Owens near the warning track out there to get it back into second base in time to get La Stella.
Yeah, Archie hung that curveball. La Stella didn't miss it, so he's at second with 1 out for former D-back great Miguel Montero. Hopefully the clock is not set to Miggy time. Montero hitting .210. He's had a tough year, couple of home runs. Only 6 extra base hits all season. He missed 15 games last month with a bad back. Miggy begins this series only 2 hits shy of 900 for his career. And he's certainly seen plenty of Archie Bradley. Two balls and a strike. Archie behind 3-1. Chip Hale was saying that what they really want from Archie is ideally just complete 6 innings and give the Diamondbacks a chance to win the game. That would be the goal first and foremost for Archie today. And they really want him to just keep that ball down in the zone against a good hitting team. Get it up occasionally just for effect. And as you mentioned, Bob, he's got to keep it down. He didn't see that on that curveball to La Stella. That one was up.
Really the first curveball he's hung in this game. That was a really nice 3-1 changeup there to Miguel Montero for a called strike.
Full count, 3-2. Walked him. A double and a walk with 1 out in the Cubs second. And that'll bring up Javier Baez.
Normally I'd say a walk is not the worst thing that could happen right there. It sets up a potential double play with the number 8 hitter making his way to the plate. But when your number 8 hitter is Javier Baez, who tries to hit every ball to Evanston, that could turn into a big inning in a hurry if you don't execute your pitches to this guy.
253, 3 home runs. A couple of hits, including a homer in their win here over the Dodgers yesterday. Baez today in there at shortstop for Addison Russell, who's gone hitless in his last 3 games. Cubs being very patient here, Bob, in this inning. Archie has thrown 13 pitches, and Chicago hitters have only swung twice. There's a strike on 1. Mentioning some versatility from some of these Cub players. Baez this year has already played first base, second base, third base, shortstop, and left field. Last Cub to do that in the same year was Mark DeRosa back in 2008. So they're trying to create a super utility guy here. Play somewhere different every day. They had him playing center field in winter ball in Puerto Rico. Trying to learn that position. He's been out there a little bit during the winter ball and spring training. Estella at second, Montero at first. Oh, and 2 on Baez with the pitcher Lackey on deck.
Baez is not the kind of hitter that you'll see shorten up with 2 strikes and try to push the ball into right field or find a hole somewhere. He's going to try to hit the ball out of the ballpark every time he swings the bat. Vicious uppercut swing.
Yeah, he really struggles to make consistent contact. Archie, part of the plan was to get ahead in the count and stay ahead. He's started out 0-2 on 4 the last 7 Cubs hitters. Just what you're looking for. Trying to put Baez away here with 2 on and 1 out.
I would imagine for a young pitcher like Archie, the hardest thing is to pitch to the hitter, not to the press clippings in the baseball card. You look at this Cubs lineup and you look at the numbers and what they're projected to do, which is win a World Series this year. Everybody's going to the All-Star game, and you can really get caught up with that, and it can affect your performance out there on the mound. Just execute your pitches.
Missed inside that time, and it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I was listening to some talk radio yesterday here in Chicago, and these guys were saying if the Cubs don't win the World Series, this season is a failure.
They're already waiting. They're 37-15 for crying out loud. They've already got an 8.5 game lead atop the NL Central. 40 pitches for Archie, 26 strike. That one, there's the big swing from Baez. It's like he's waving a polo mallet from on top of a horse or something. He does not get cheated. Doesn't often make contact, but he doesn't get cheated. Got him. 3rd strikeout for Bradley, 2 down.
Great location on that breaking ball. Starts it right about in the middle of the strike zone, nearly ends up in the dirt.
Boy, if you can just keep that pitch right there, you'll really have something. Now 2 on and 2 out for the pitcher Lackey.
Now, even though John Lackey's not considered a good hitting pitcher, you have to attack him like he is in this situation.
Chop foul by third base coach Gary Jones down there. Lackey 3 for 26 this year. He struck out more than half the time he's been up. 0-2. Struck him out. Foul tip. Castillo hangs on. 4 strikeouts for Bradley. He strands 2 and keeps it scoreless in Chicago.
In the D-backs, former Diamondback catcher Miguel Montero doing the catching for the Cubs today. I talked to Miggy earlier today and visited his locker. The first thing that he mentioned to me was how sad he was at the passing of Joe Garagiola. The two love to talk about the game of baseball. He was really a mentor to Miggy, but of course he was celebrating his great life, and he did have the patch that the Diamondbacks are wearing on their jerseys. He had it in his locker. He got it during the Cubs visit there earlier this season. He asked if he could wear it on his jersey, his Cubs jersey, but unfortunately all the uniform rules, the answer was no. But he's in his heart. He's always thinking about him, guys.
Very nice touch by Miguel Montero.
Very nice.
We appreciate that. Archie Bradley leads off the third. A lot of discussion, Bob, between the inning. Chip Hale and the plate umpire, Hernan Willis, said something was going on that Chip does not like.
Yeah, I'm speculating here, but there was a little cat and mouse going on between Lackey and Nick Ahmed in that at bat. Nick called timeout, stepped out of the box, and Lackey was in the middle of his delivery. And next pitch, Lackey just stood there and stood there and stood there until Nick was ready to call timeout again, and then Lackey delivered the ball and caught Nick standing there. So I think Chip was a little upset with that gamesmanship on the part of John Lackey. Nothing illegal about it.
Archie strikes out. Third strikeout for Lackey.
After calling a late timeout on the pitch before, you see Nick tried to call timeout again, and John Lackey delivered the ball as Nick was taking his right hand off the bat.
Yeah, Chip was out there straight away to have a long conversation with Hunter Wennerstedt that took the entire break.
That's a veteran move.
Yeah. Well, Lackey's a veteran at the age of 37, no question about that. Segura bangs that one into center. A one-out single, second hit for the D-backs against John Lackey. He's going to run into second and run into an out. A little too aggressive, perhaps, by Gene Segura. He insists that he was in there. Second base umpire is Trip Gibson.
You see Fowler out there in center field, just kind of jogging over to the spot, taking his time getting to the ball, but he wasn't that far away from his throw at second base.
Gene's still standing on the bag. He's not going anywhere.
unfortunately. I think they got him that time. Tried to do that swim move.
Boy, that's awfully close.
Yeah.
Gene's right to feel that he may have snuck in there, but there will be no challenge from the Diamondbacks. And he is out. Two down for Michael Bourn. Bourn popped up his first time up. Michael started all 4 games against Houston. He had a hit and a walk each of the last 3. Done a nice job since he became a Diamondback.
It really looks like he's settling in. When Michael first got here, he kind of sat by himself on the bench, didn't say a whole lot on the buses or the planes, but with each passing day and more offense, he's starting to feel more and more comfortable with his new team.
40 pitches for Lackey, 27 strikes. Just that time. Yeah, he's a lot of fun to talk to, Michael Bourn. Very engaging guy. Nice to have around. Lackey strikes it out. 4 strikeouts for Lackey. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd, a 9-pitch inning for the Cubs starter.
Neither team has scored. Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Beautiful day at Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you. Dexter Fowler, the leadoff man, will lead off the Cub 3rd against Archie Bradley, who so far has walked 1, given up 2 hits, and has 4 strikeouts. And Archie, for the most part, very good so far. He's stayed ahead in the count and kept that curveball down with 1 or 2 exceptions. In there for a strikeout on Fowler, 1-1. Well, how about a leadoff man that has a .432 on base percentage? They're going to score some runs when that happens.
Ridiculous.
Second in the majors behind only the guy who hits 5th for the Cubs, Ben Zobrist. Archie missed that time. He's fallen behind 3 balls and 1 strike. Second time through the Cub order for Archie. Elevated that a bit. Fowler swung through it, a full count, 3-2.
93-mile-an-hour fastball and a 3-1 count, belt high out over the plate. Those usually get hit pretty hard, but that time Fowler swung right through it.
It's the second time that I can remember he put one there and got away with it to a Cub hitter. Goldie has it at first, 1 down. Bob, second time through the order. How does a guy like Archie, who's essentially got 3 pitches, fastball, curveball, changeup, how does he mix it up and keep the Cub hitters off balance? It's not like he's got 5, 6 pitches up there.
You know, really 3 should be enough if your command is good. And so far, with the exception of just a couple of pitches, he's hit his spots or missed in his favor. So I really wouldn't change too much. Along with Wellington Castillo, they have a real good idea how they want to attack these Cubs hitters, where their weaknesses are, and how to get to them with 2 strikes. So I think you just keep doing what you're doing until they show you they can get on it, like that.
Hayward drives that out to Yasmani Tomas. Backing up, he makes the catch. 2 outs.
Yeah, if they start making solid contact and the outs are getting a little louder, then maybe you think about starting a guy with a straight changeup or using the curveball a little bit more early in the sequence and the fastball later in the sequence. But so far, the Cubs haven't really hit him hard at all.
Hayward tried to jump on the first one. He's 0 for 2. That was the first fly ball out for Archie. Now he'll work to Chris Bryant. He threw Bryant 5 strikes in the first at bat, but it ended up being a double.
You know, talking about Archie and the way he pitches.
This was the exchange after Bryant swung and missed at what was a dropped 3rd strike on a cross-up. And it wound up being a double here to left center.
Yeah, and the next pitch was right at the knees over the middle of the plate, called a ball, and Bryant ends up getting a double that he shouldn't have. I was about to say Curt Schilling. His entire career, first pitch fastball at the knees on the outside corner to every hitter. First time, second time, third time through the order, didn't matter. I'm going to jump ahead with a fastball on the corner at the knees. And he could do it whenever he wanted.
Shift is on. That one is rolled right to Nick Ahmed. A very nice 1-2-3 third for Archie Bradley. Diamondbacks and the Cubs. No score at Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field fans, here's your chance to beat the Heat. Today's word is Ivy. Boy, aren't we clever. Log on to foxsportsarizona.com/beat the Heat. Enter that word for a chance to win a trip to San Diego for the July 4th weekend. From now through June the 5th, we'll give you the word of the day during every game. And when you see it, go to foxsportsarizona.com/beat the Heat and enter that word. The more times you enter, the better your chances.
The password is Ivy.
Not poison ivy. Just ivy. John Lackey throws strike 1 to Paul Goldschmidt, who flied out his first time up. Goldie, Lamb, Castillo 3, 4, and 5 in the Arizona 4th. By the way, don't miss the 7th inning of the ball game. Spoiler alert. My partner is singing the 7th inning stretch as he does every visit. Quite an honor.
I enjoy doing it, but every time I do, they have to warn all the pet owners in the neighborhood, cover their dog's ears.
Well, my only concern is that usually the booth just to our right is the home TV booth with the great Len Casper and Jim DeShays. But the home booth today's empty because Lenny and JD are out there doing the game from underneath the scoreboard in left center field. So you're going to have the stage all to yourself.
That is a little intimidating. There you see where the Cubs broadcast crew is set up today. We talked earlier about the bleacher bums. And Harry Carey, of course, started the tradition of doing some games from out in the bleachers and sharing a few beverages with the fans out there.
Well, maybe they're doing that right now.
Could be.
Take by Goldie, 95, misses from Lackey, a full count, 3-2. So Bob Brenly singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" in the booth all by himself here in the 7th inning. That'll be fun.
Well, I'm hoping to have some harmony. My granddaughter Gemma Rose is coming up to the booth for the 7th, and we've been practicing last couple days.
Goldie drives this one out to center for Dexter Fowler. It's hung up in that wind, gone away.
But it's one thing to sing it, you know, out in the driveway when you're writing on the driveway with sidewalk chalk, you know, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," as opposed to standing in the booth with 40,000 people looking at you. So we'll see.
Well, you had a couple of grandpa days here.
Yeah, outstanding. Thank you very much for Tom Candiotti for sliding over, and Mike Farron for filling in for Candy on the radio side.
The moral compass, Mike Farron, by the way, is still stranded in Houston. He can't get out. The flooding there has been dreadful. Airports were closed. We were lucky to get out of there yesterday.
My timing on off days has been impeccable.
It has. I can't argue with it. Although you missed a heck of a game yesterday.
Oh, I saw it. I was dialed in.
Yeah, you missed a game in Texas a couple of years ago. Gonzo flew down there. We didn't even play because the storm blew in. And then Gonzo had to take like 12 of us out to dinner.
Perfect timing.
Not a good trip for him. 50 pitches for John Lackey, 32 strikes. 1-1 on Jake Lamb. Jake flied out his first time up. It's that one hard and under the glove of Rizzo. A 1-out single for Jake Lamb. Well, everything he hits, Bob, is hard these days.
Yeah, starting to barrel the ball up with consistency. And he's so patient and waiting for a pitch he can handle that when he does get something he's looking for, he barrels it, hits it hard.
A 1-out base runner for Wellington Castillo, who had a swing and bunt single his first time up. So Welling's now hit safely in 4 straight. Couldn't ask for a nicer day to be in this ballpark. No humidity at all, nice and comfortable, low 70s, blue sky overhead. Just gorgeous. A lot of D-backs fans here with us. It's always great to come here, get to go see Jim Weber. Jim always has a get together for the coaches and everybody every time we're in town. Lackey behind on Castillo, 3-0.
And if you believe Tom Skilling, the longtime weatherman here for WGN Channel 9 in Chicago, we better enjoy this today because there's a real good chance for some severe thunderstorms tomorrow. Sunday looks a little better.
I'll check with the real authority,
Yeah.
the governor, Greg Schulte. I know Skilling's got a degree and everything, but he's not the governor. Broken bat, a little flare, center field. That one is going to drop in, a base hit. Lamb had to hold up. Castillo's got a swinging bunt single and a broken bat bloop, but he's 2 for 2.
Stay hot.
Exactly.
You get enough line drives and hard grounders taken away over the course of the season, you'll take every cheapie you can get. Ooh, Dexter Fowler knocked that one down with his chin.
That's the 4th hit for the Diamondbacks, all singles. 2 on and 1 out for Chris Owens, who walked his first time up, had a very good at bat, a very patient at bat against John Lackey. He was behind in the count and worked a walk. Jake Lamb at second, Wellington Castillo at first. 0-1 on CO.
For Wellington Castillo, that was the first hit of his career on a 3-0 count.
Come on.
Now, you don't want to brag about a broken bat blooper on a 3-0 count, but certainly you'll take it.
Diamondbacks had 2 on with 1 out in the second. Tomas flying out, Ahmed struck out. They stranded 2. See if they can take advantage here. This looks like a double play ball. Baez, Zobrist, Rizzo, and roll. Lackey gets out of the jam. Cubs turn 2, bottom 4 coming up. The D-backs and the Cubs. Hey, D-backs fans, it's Mountain Dew Decision 2016. Dew fans everywhere asked to bring back 2 legendary flavors, Mountain Dew Baja Blast and Pitch Black. But only one will stay, and you get to decide. Yes, it's the Thunderdome of soft drinks. Only one can stay. Vote online at Decision.com. Archie Bradley has looked very good so far. He's retired the last 5 Cubs he has faced, coming off an outstanding start Sunday against the Padres at Chase Field. In that ball game, Archie went 7 1/3. Gave up 3 runs, only 4 hits. Walked just 1 and had 9 strikeouts, and he was supremely efficient. 70 of his 96 pitches went for strikes. And he's been just about on that same path so far through 3 innings, Bob. I think you have to be pleased with what we've seen so far.
Oh, absolutely, especially against this high-powered Cubs offense, executing some good pitches, getting some weak contact. They have barreled a couple of balls in this game. One of them by Chris Bryant that shouldn't have gotten to that point.
Yeah. He's had to throw about 10, 12 extra pitches as a result of that. But 1 or 2 curveballs up, 1 or 2 fastballs over the middle he's gotten away with. But you can't afford to make too many of those mistakes against this team. Anthony Rizzo leads it off for the Cubs in the 4th. D-backs overload the right-hand side of the infield. This time they'll leave Nick Ahmed all by himself at shortstop, and Jake Lamb, the 3rd baseman, playing near second.
Rizzo right on top of that plate like he always is. He's been plunked by pitch 9 times this year.
How many?
9 times.
We are in Chicago. This is the home of Ferris Bueller after all. Ed Rooney. 1 and 2. Maddon insisting Anthony Rizzo, despite a recent 3 for 41 slump, is going to hit, and he is primarily still a pull hitter. And so the shift is on. Cubs have hit only 3 balls up in the air in fair territory so far against Archie Bradley. Done a very good job of keeping it down, which he has to do against this lineup. 2-2 pitch. Rizzo lays off. The count is full. Archie so far has walked just 1. He's got 4 strikeouts. He loses Rizzo, leadoff walk. Well, Rizzo is a very patient hitter. Doesn't matter if he's slumping or not. He's got more walks than strikeouts this year. So he's on board for Ben Zobrist. Boy, what a month Ben Zobrist just had. He hit .406 in May, a Ted Williams batting average for the month of May. And John Lackey was saying the other day that when Zobrist gets up to the plate, the Cubs players in the dugout, they just wonder which direction the hit is going to go to. It's not if he's going to get a hit, it's where's it going to go. He's been that hot. So when he makes it out, they're all stunned in that Chicago dugout. He grounded out his first time up.
And the Diamondbacks playing a little bit to pull. Nick has shaded up the middle of the field ever so slightly, and Jake Lamb off the line at third, but everybody else playing straight up across the infield and outfield.
Yeah, because this guy does use the whole field for the most part. You can't overload one side or the other. That's something that Joe Maddon just loves. As you can see here, he'll hit it everywhere. He's a switch hitter after all, batting left-handed against the right-hander Bradley. We were talking about that great month of May that Ben Zobrist had. How about this? His on-base percentage for the entire month of May was .496. So for the entire month, he was literally getting on base every other time up.
Usually being that busy on the bases, you see a decrease at the end of the month because the guy's just fatigued from running the bases so much.
He's a really good player. Stays 1 and 2.
How about that? That walk by Anthony Rizzo, number 241 on the season for the Cubs, 22 more than any other team. When you look at some of these guys, you say, oh, they're a bunch of free swingers, and at times they can be, but usually they're free swingers at strikes.
Fowler, Hayward, Zobrist, these are all very high on base percentage guys. Even their slugger Rizzo, a guy that gets on base a lot, as we talked about. Double play ball here. Segura, Ahmed, Goldie, they roll it. Archie erases that leadoff walk. 2 down. Nicely done.
Dialed it up. Zobrist just smothers that ball on 3 hops right to Gene Segura. That's about as easy a double play as you'll ever get right there.
Archie had retired 5 in a row. He had a very quick 1-2-3 third. Now 2 outs for LaStella, who doubled his first time up.
Well, LaStella, one of the Cubs that did hit the ball on the barrel, hit it hard toward that gap in left center field.
Strike 1 and strike 2 from Archie.
Beautiful. That's another thing he did well against the Padres. Not only did he throw a lot of strike 1s, but he came right back with strike 2 on the next pitch.
96 pitches, 70 for strikes. That is tremendous. Chris Herman was saying after Archie's last start that Archie looks like he belongs in the big leagues, and you kind of get that sense that he's very much aware that he's going to get a chance to stay here for a little bit. Wants to come out, just earn his spot, show the coaches he can go out every 5th day and give him a chance to win. It's the ultimate goal right now for Archie Bradley. Stay in the big leagues and never go back down. And if he keeps pitching like this, that's exactly what will happen.
Pitching here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 outs. This is his 6th 0-2 count in the ballgame. Or was his 6th 0-2 count.
Just missed. Really good pitch right there. La Stella almost bit, but it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yes, he went. Hunter Wendelstedt says strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Archie. No score through 4.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
They have that new scoreboard out there in left center field, and they'll do little entertaining things on it between innings, and they just had a little thing they show here showing Cubs players' favorite movies, and Miguel Montero was the feature there. And Mickey's favorite movie, according to the board, is Pretty Woman.
Wow.
With Julia Roberts. Can see Miggy walking down the street in Beverly Hills on a big shopping spree with all these bags and that Pretty Woman song. Roy Orbison going in the background. It doesn't quite fit. As Monty Tomas. Oh, Ben Zobrist runs it down. 1 pitch, 1 out for Lackey in the 5th. Looks like that one might drop in there. Brings up Nick Ahmed. It said, what's your favorite type of movie? And Miggy's answer, according to the board, was action movie. Okay, so you're thinking, you know, some kind of Michael Bay movie, stuff is blowing up.
Yeah, something.
Then it said, favorite movie, Pretty Woman.
Go figure.
Nick Ahmed now. Plane flights aren't the same without Miggy. I will say that. He used to wander up and down the aisle the entire plane ride. He'd just chat everybody up, sit on somebody's seat.
Wake you up if you were sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Hey, wake up. I want to talk to you. Okay. What's wrong? Nothing. How are you? I'm fine, Mig. I was sleeping. 1-2. Veteran John Lackey, 37 years old. He got a 2-year, $32 million free agent deal from the Cubs in December. He has pitched really well for them. He's gone at least 7 full innings in 5 of his last 6 starts, John Lackey. And he's already had 2 11 strikeout games this year. Often see 37-year-old pitchers with as many miles on them as Lackey has getting that kind of a contract. Not a long-term contract, but certainly big money. And it's been a very good investment. It's interesting, Bob, the way they built this Cubs team. They developed all their position players with 1 or 2 exceptions. but they've gone out on the open market and spent big money to build a pitching staff. They don't really develop pitchers here. Ball strike 3. That's 5 for Lackey. You know, they spent money on Lester, obviously, $155 million. Lackey got $32 million. They have a couple of guys they've acquired elsewhere as well. Jake Arrieta was a trade with the Orioles.
Jake Arrieta has already made it well known that he's not going to take a hometown discount just to stay here in Chicago. What kind of contract will that be?
Can't imagine. He's been a deadly weapon for him, that's for sure.
Although they didn't win his last start, he didn't get the loss. I believe he had a no decision, but that was the first time in 24 starts that the Cubs did not win when Jake Arrieta was on the mound.
Yeah, even when Arrieta loses, he doesn't lose. Board at Wrigley Field, and as you can see there, everything else is a night game, NITE. So it's time for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Johnny Cueto, who is 8-1 as a San Francisco Giant, pitches for the G-Men at St. Louis later today. Into Maeda on the mound for the Dodgers. They host Atlanta, and the Rockies are in San Diego. Chris Russell and Drew Pomeranz in that game. Miguel Montero will lead off the Cubs' 5th. Joe Madden, you'll note, has elected Bob, since Montero has come back from the DL, to still carry 3 catchers. There's David Ross. They also have Tim Federowicz, the former Dodger, because Madden says it gives him the freedom to do things in the latter part of the ball game. What does he mean by that? Any idea?
Well, pinch run for Miggy if he happens to get on base, knowing that you've got 2 catchers available still.
That's over the bag, a fair ball. 1 pitch, 1 out for Archie. They retire Montero to open up the 5th.
Obviously pinch hit situations, get matchups that you're looking for. And I mentioned earlier, Miggy's had some issues defensively back there behind the plate this year, especially throwing out opposing base stealers. He's 0 for 18 on the season. David Ross, a much more accomplished defensive catcher and thrower. Same for Tim Federowicz behind the plate. Ideally, one of the 3 catchers or 2 of the 3 catchers can play other positions, but that's not necessarily the case with the 3 guys Joe Madden has.
Yeah, Ross is a fixture, and they really like what Federowicz has brought them. Madden said it's kind of forced their hand keeping him around, so they're going with 3 catchers right now. Javier Baez struck out his first time up. That's now 7 ground ball outs. 7 ground ball outs for Archie Bradley. Just what you're looking for. And he's ahead of Baez. 0-2. Archie has walked 2. He struck out 5. Given up just 2 hits. He strikes out Baez. That's 6 punch outs for Archie. 2 down. Hey, D-backs fans, fill out your 2016 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot right now. On your computer, your tablet, or your smartphone, just go to dbacks.com. You can vote up to 35 times. Well, we're in Chicago. Vote early, vote often.
Sure.
Vote today. That's happened in some Chicago elections, I've been told. You can vote today, tomorrow, the whole thing at dbacks.com/vote. Not that that's ever.
Oh, no, I mean, not here.
I shouldn't say that. It's all on the up and up. Archie ahead of Lackey now, 0-2.
Well, you get 3 times as many votes as there are residents in Cook County.
Wait, what?
There's something going on here.
Something going on with Archie Bradley. Bryant doubled in the first after he had struck out. Long story. And then LaStella doubled in the second. And since that, Archie's had only 2 base runners, a couple of walks. 80 pitches for Archie Bradley, 55 for strikes. And Lackey looks at ball 1. Swing and a miss. 7 strikeouts for Archie Bradley. It's a 9-pitch 5th. No score at Wrigley Field.
No score. We head to the top half of the 6th inning. If you're a baseball fan, then you need all the new Fox Sports app. You need the all-new Fox Sports app. Get highlights, interviews, injury updates, scores, and instant alerts on your favorite teams and rivals. Download now in the iOS App Store, Google Play, or visit foxsports.com/app.
Third time through the order for Cub starter John Lackey. Gene Segura will lead off the 6th inning. Segura born Goldie, 1, 2, and 3 on a beautiful day here at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you. Glad you're spending your morning/afternoon with us back home, the great state of Arizona. On Fox Sports Arizona, first of 3 day games against Joe Maddon's Chicago Cubs. And this has been a very well-pitched ball game. Diamondbacks have 4 hits against John Lackey, all singles. He's walked 1, struck out 6, retired the last 4 he's faced. Segura singled his last time up. He'll lead it off. Gene, let's see, 11 for 24 career against John Lackey. Homered off him at Chase Field back in April. Funny, every time we play a team in the National League Central, Bob, I always get asked, I was asked this by Pat Hughes and Ron Coomer doing Cubs radio just to our left here, how's Segura doing? And I always tell him he's tremendous. He's been great, a burst of energy. Defense at second base has been sensational. He's spraying the ball over the field, and they're never surprised. They always, yeah, he was tough against us. And you can see he's been tough on Lackey. Former Milwaukee Brewer, of course. 0-2.
Sometimes there's no real easy way to explain why one guy does so well against an opposing pitcher. Sometimes you just pick the ball up really good out of his hand. Sometimes the pitcher falls into a pattern that you recognize. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it's a combination of all those things.
You and John Candelaria. Well, Lackey has struck out 3 in a row now. He's got 7 in the ball game.
A little country hardball there. Occasionally it looks like Lackey speeds up his delivery to me. He gets in the middle of his windup, and all of a sudden it's a little bit quicker than it was on the pitch before. Once again, nothing illegal about it, just a cagey veteran move.
Bring LaStella in from third at 0-1.
We've seen Tyler Clippard messing around with that very abbreviated windup, almost a quick pitch. Of course, Johnny Cueto is known for varying his delivery to home plate right in the middle of his windup.
Lackey's got every trick in the book out there, that's for sure. Been around a long time. And a very good season last year in St. Louis that got him that big Cub contract. Made 33 starts, pitched 218 innings, and had a 2.77 ERA as a Cardinal last year. That was top 10 in the National League. He knows what he's doing. But at the same time, he's complex and he'll mix it up and vary deliveries and all that stuff. But on the other hand, he's a very simple guy. He'll just pound the strike zone with a lot of fastballs. So in that sense, there's nothing tricky out there. He's very consistent. No big formula. He's not trying to trick anybody too often. Oh, he wanted that one.
He's thrown that same curveball 3 times in this at bat. Hasn't gotten the call on any of them. Tries to backdoor it. In the estimation of Hunter Wendelstedt, just didn't get to the corner. It didn't.
Struck out 4 in a row. That's 8 in the ball game for Lackey. 2 down.
Well, you think he was sure curveball was the right pitch there? Threw it 3 times in a row. Comes back with it a 4th time to get the swing and a miss from Michael Bourn.
Now, some guys, Bob, when they have those moments and they don't get the call and they kind of gripe with their bodies and the whole thing, body language, it throws some guys off. They lose their composure, but it seems to feed Lackey. Goldie now knocks that one the other way. Oh, look at this. Ben Zobrist takes a base hit away. 7 straight retired by Lackey. No score at Wrigley Field. High-speed highlights presented by Cox. So far, Archie Bradley's given up only 2 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 7. But Bob, the big key, 7 ground ball outs.
Yeah, really keeping that ball down well, much like he did against the Padres in his last outing. Infield defense has been busy behind him. Really looking good today. All the Cox high-speed highlights coming off the right arm of Archie Bradley.
And third time through the order now for Archie. Dexter Fowler leads off the Chicago 6th. And there's another first pitch strike from Archie. And you'll notice Archie's tempo here. We've talked about this. This nice, quick, easy, simplified pitching motion. Working at a very steady pace, keeping things going with that fluid, repeatable delivery, which has been, in his own admission, a constant work in progress. Especially with Mike Butcher. They spent a lot of time together this winter. Archie stayed in Scottsdale in the offseason, worked out at Salt River Fields, and he has been reaping the benefits both at Reno and with the Diamondbacks this year. Fowler over 2. He has struck out, grounded out. 14 of 19 first pitch strikes for Archie Bradley. He's worked at full 3 and 2. This has been a pitcher's duel, Bob, in every sense of the word. Neither team has had a man reach third base in the ball game yet today.
Certainly not what you anticipate coming into Wrigley Field with a nice sunny day like this. Temperatures what they are. Wind blowing across from right to left.
Struck him out. That's 6 in a row retired by Archie Bradley and 8 strikeouts.
This is the guy the Diamondbacks organization have been waiting for a few years. Archie has shown flashes of brilliance, especially down at the AAA level where he's absolutely dominated at times. But every time he's been given an opportunity at the major league level, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Some good, some not so good, some really bad. This is what they've been looking for.
And it's funny, as you mentioned, you've heard about him for so long, and he's been off in the horizon, off in the distance for such a long time. You forget he's only 23 years old. He'll be 24 in August. Jason Hayward 0 for 2. How about this? Strike 1, strike 2. This is tremendous. Archie very happy with his delivery right now. He's not fighting his mechanics. He's more focused on the outcome of the pitch than the execution and the mechanics of things. He's just kind of going with the flow now. So far against the Padres and today against the Cubs, his last 2 starts, Archie has 3 walks and 17 strikeouts. Hayward able to check his swing, and it's 1 and 2.
Overthrew that one just a little bit.
Bullpen will get busy now with Archie approaching 100 pitches. Jake Barrett, the right-hander, Zach Curtis, the lefty. 2 and 2 to Jason Hayward. It's in the dirt, full count. Archie in that game against the Padres threw 96 pitches in 7 1/3. It's just about there so far. Through 5 1/3. And Hayward's got a base hit. A 1-out single. Just the 3rd hit for the Cubs against Archie Bradley.
A bad pitch just off that outside corner, breaking down toward the ground. Hayward gets enough of it off the end of the bat to drop it in front of Chris Owings in center field.
Some work to do now. Chris Bryant has doubled and grounded out. 1 for 2. Bryant second in the National League with 40 RBIs. If Archie can dial up another ground ball right here.
Now he'll have to Pay a little bit of attention to Hayward over there at first. 7 stolen bases in 9 attempts. In a pitcher's duel, even teams that don't like to run the bases a lot might be a little more aggressive to try to get a guy into scoring position.
Bryant swings through that one. Chris Bryant last year led the National League in strikeouts. This year he has cut down significantly on his strikeout rate. It's dropped about 10%. But he's still a guy who you can get to swing and miss. Two. Bryant has homered in 4 of his last 8 games, including each of the last 2. Homered in their wins Wednesday and Thursday against the Dodgers. Strike 3. 9 strikeouts for Bradley.
Yeah, had to be guessing breaking ball to take a fastball right there on a 2-strike count.
Archie has struck out 4 the last 5 he's faced. And now with Hayward at first and 2 outs, it's Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo grounded out and walked. He's 0 for 1. Archie Bradley trying to complete 6 scoreless innings.
Make sure if you're going inside on Rizzo that you don't let it stray back over the middle of the plate, or if you're trying to throw it down the middle, don't let it stray away. He stands so close to the plate. He has such tremendous coverage off of that outside corner. Much better off trying to jam him in on his hands than go to that outside corner.
Coming inside here. Rizzo was out so much over the plate, then when Castillo sets up inside, that glove is well underneath and inside of Rizzo's hands. That's why he's leading the planet and getting hit by pitches.
Former ASU great and Atlanta Braves star Bob Horner used to be that way. He would stand with his toes almost touching the inside corner of the plate, as close as he could possibly get, because he wanted that ball inside. He liked to pull, and he would pull everything you threw up there.
100 pitches, 67 strikes. This one is headed toward the left field corner. Yasmani Tomas will watch it get into the seats. And it's 1-2 on Anthony Rizzo. Archie has matched his total from Sunday against San Diego, 9 strikeouts. A strike away from getting out of the 6th inning. Barrett and Curtis both appear to be ready in the Diamondback bullpen. They've been warming up down there for a while. One and two on Anthony Rizzo. Fly ball center field. Chris, he's got a bad jump. It gets behind him. Hayward will come in and score. And it's 1-0 Chicago. A misread there by CO in center. And the Cubs have the lead.
Well, we've been so impressed by Chris Owings' defensive play out there in center field, but man, did he get a bad read on this ball. He comes charging in, then has to reverse engines and go back to the warning track. That ball just shot over his head. With Hayward's speed, he's going to score easily from first base.
And CO has done a tremendous job out there. If you look at the defensive metrics, he's among the best of the major leagues among center fielders, but that one hurt the Diamondbacks. So Rizzo's at second, a run is in, first base is open. He'll walk Zobrist and work to La Stella.
You get the feeling in these pitchers duels like this, you get past the 5th inning of a ball game and neither team has scored, neither team doing much offensively. It always feels like the game is going to hinge on some kind of a mistake, either a mental error or a physical error. That won't go down as a physical error for Chris Owings in center field, certainly a mental error for breaking in rather than breaking back.
So Zobrist gets the free pass. Chip Hale is going to come out. Archie Bradley was tremendous, Bob, once again. You've got to love what you saw from Archie today.
Absolutely. You take that every time out. Stuff was good. All of his pitches played well today. Kept the ball down for the most part. Only a few mistakes up in the zone.
Stella, the left-hand hitter, is due up. They have the lefty Curtis warming up in the bullpen. Nothing yet from Chip Hale. Hunter Wendelstein is going to come out and break this up now. He may leave Archie in here, and that's what he's going to do.
Well, and this isn't a case of worrying about the pitcher spot in the next inning. Archie's not due to hit until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 next inning.
So they'll let Bradley work to La Stella with a run in, 2 on and 2 out. Tommy La Stella so far has doubled and struck out. Rizzo is the runner at second and Zobrist at first. Well, this is the second time in the ball game that Archie should have been out of an inning and has had to double up the workload. He's trying to pick up his center fielder right here and get La Stella 2 on and 2 out. What do you think about leaving Archie in this spot?
I think this is a situation where Chip's looking at big picture rather than just today's ball game. If Archie Bradley's going to be a contributing member of this rotation moving forward, he's going to have to learn how to pitch out of these jams. Through no fault of his own, he finds himself trailing in this ball game. Come right back and get this last out of the inning.
He's behind 2 balls and no strikes. Miguel Montero would be next. He's on deck. Jake Barrett has stopped throwing. Zach Curtis continues to throw in the Diamondback bullpen.
Part of the reasoning, I'm sure, for Chip Hale is if you go to the left-hander Curtis to face La Stella, Joe Madness got a bunch of right-handed thunder on that bench over there. You certainly would hit for Tommy La Stella in this situation.
There's a strike, 3-1. Pitches now for Archie, 70 strikes. Waves in that one, full count, 3-2.
It's just overpowering a hitter with a fastball right there, up and out over the plate, blew it right by La Stella.
2 on, 2 out, 3 balls and 2 strikes. There go the runners. Archie strikes him out. That's a career high 10 strikeouts for Archie Bradley. He strands 2, but the Diamondbacks trail it 1-0. One nothing. Fan School is out to kick off summer break. The D-backs are giving kids 15 and younger free tickets to all the home games next week, June 6th through the 12th. There's even a day game Wednesday, so plan to bring the whole family to Chase Field. You can get up to 2 free kids tickets with a purchase of 1 adult ticket. For more information, call 602-514-8400 or log on to dbacks.com/kids. Jake Lamb will lead off the 7th inning against John Lackey, who's now got a 1-0 lead. Lackey has retired the last 7 he's faced. Changes for the Cubs defensively. Tommy LaStella, who just struck out to end the bottom of the 6th, has been replaced at third base by Javier Baez. Baez moves from short to third, and Addison Russell takes over at shortstop. Jake Lamb has flied out singled, 1 for 2. There's Addison Russell now at short, Baez at third. Back to the mound. Lackey has it.
Sounded like Jake might have hit that off the end of the bat. A little bit harder and over the head of John Lackey. Maybe it sneaks through for a leadoff hit, but the pitcher able to make the play there. 1 down.
Brings up the former Cub, Wellington Castillo. Now 8 straight set down by Lackey. Zach Curtis has sat down in the Diamondback bullpen. Jake Barrett is up and throwing again. Archie Bradley, 112 pitches, 72 for strikes. He was tremendous today. 0-2 on Castillo. John Lackey has been equally good so far. He's given up only 4 hits, all singles. Walked 1 and struck out 8. Just inside, a ball and 2 strikes.
Lackey not real happy with that one. Every borderline pitch is supposed to go his way.
That's what it says in the rules. He's been ahead in the count all day long. 21 of 23 first pitch strikes for John Lackey. Time granted to Wellington Castillo. And when you look at Archie Bradley's pitching line, he's got 10 strikeouts. He should have had 11.
Yep.
He's given up 1 run. It was earned. He should have a shutout. So he's pitched even better than the numbers indicate. Strikes out Wellington Castillo. That's 9 straight set down by Lackey and 9 strikeouts. And a reminder, fans, we are going to keep it right here at the end of this inning for the Bob Brenly 7th inning stretch extravaganza. And Beebe will make his way over to the home TV booth just to our right here. Len Casper and Jim Deshaies are broadcasting this game from the bleachers out in left field. And so Beebe will have the booth all to himself. He receives the honor, and well deserved it is, of singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" here in between the top and the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-1 on Chris Owings. CO has walked and hit into a double play. It's a whole thing. Now Beebe's got the whole family over there. Gemma Rose has shown up. Hopefully she's practiced. Bob has been practicing with his granddaughter for a couple of days now here in Chicago. 90 pitches for Lackey, 59 strikes. So several generations of Brenleys about to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" here at Wrigley Field. Oh, a moment for the whole family. So a reminder, as soon as this last out is recorded, keep it right here. For Bob Brenly broadcasting to Cub Nation. Daughter Lacey is here, granddaughter Gemma Rose. Lackey's only walked 1 batter in the ball game, and that was CO back in the 2nd. And Owings is ahead 3 balls and a strike. There's Bob Brenly. Gemma's a little shy back there. That's in the seats near the D-back bullpen. It's leaking in there. And Owings stays alive. A full count, 3-2. John Lackey doing what John Lackey does. Give you 7 solid innings. He's gone 6 2/3 so far. Lackey has gone at least 7 full innings in 5 of his last 6 starts. Three and 2 to Chris Owings. That's rolled foul just down the third base line right by Javier Baez. And through the Cub bullpen. One more time on 3 and 2. Chris Owings' first at bat was very much like this against John Lackey. He was down in the count early, fouled off a couple of pitches, couple of check swings, took some close ones, worked the count full, and drew a walk. Diamondbacks have had only 2 base runners reach second base in the ballgame. 8th pitch of the at-bat on the way. This is the Chris Owings that we have seen throughout the month of May. CO had an outstanding month at the plate in May. Hit almost 290. A very different guy than the one we saw last year. There's Lacey, Bob's daughter, and Gemma Rose, the apple of his eye. Getting ready to sing the 7th inning stretch. 4 straight fouls by Chris Owings. Another 3-2 pitch from John Lackey. He worked a walk. 2 great at bats today by Chris Owings against the veteran Lackey. One more look. Lackey has only walked 2. It's been Owings twice, just off the plate. And even Lackey had to admit that was not a strike. Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, going to take a visit here. As Yasmani Tomas will be the hitter. Let's go downstairs to Jody. Jody.
Well, Steve, yeah, I was talking to Miguel Montero before the game, asking him what's it like to catch all these pitchers, all having such a great season so far. With Lackey, said it's fun. They're all fun to catch. With Lackey, he can be incredibly intense at times, and that's one thing you see. You see him very open with his emotions, as you noted, shaking his head there on that last pitch. It can be a good or a bad thing. 14 major league seasons, though, it's certainly been successful for him, even working with those emotions out there on the mound.
Yeah, it's not played as well in some cities in which Lackey has pitched than others. Sometimes they read a little too much into it. Tomas 0 for 2. We'll see if Yasmani can put together a disciplined at bat. He looked very good the first time up against Lackey when he flied out to center field. But then his second time up, he hacked at the first pitch and popped up. Rolls that one foul down the third base line, right by Baez. And what gets frustrating for the Diamondbacks coaches when you talk about Yasmani Tomas, as Chip Hale has told us, every now and then Yasmani will show that he's got pretty good plate discipline up there. But then the next time up, not so much. So they found they have to keep hammering and hammering away with Yasmani about selection. What are good times to be a little more aggressive, and when do you pull back? He's still getting a feel for that. He's down 0-2. Diamondback coaches very mindful of the fact that Yasmani Tomas did not have a minor league playing career with the Diamondbacks. He sat out a year and a half after defecting from Cuba. Played a handful of games at Reno before he was called up last April. So there is a learning curve here. Lackey about to throw pitch number 100 in the ball game. 0-2 on Yasmani Tomas. Montero wants it up. Yasmani base hit. He rolls it into left field. Good at bat there by Yasmani Tomas. A walk and a single, both with 2 outs, brings up Nick Ahmed. You can see where Montero set up. Lackey was not able to elevate that pitch. It went down and into Yasmani, and he was on it. So Lackey missed his spot, and that is going to be it. Here comes Joe Maddon. He's going to go out and get his starter. So the Diamondbacks down 1-0 in the 7th inning. 2 on and 2 out, and that will end Lackey's day. We'll take a break from Wrigley Field as Lackey walks off to a standing O. Diamondbacks down 1-0. is set to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" in between the top of the bottom of the 7th inning here, but the Diamondbacks are not done yet in this inning. They've got 2 on and 2 out, and they brought in a new pitcher for the Cubs. It's the right-hander Adam Warren. He was picked up in December from the Yankees in the deal for Starlin Castro. His 19th appearance, a 2.79 ERA. Nick Ahmed's spot is up in the order, but he's been recalled, and Chris Herman will take the at-bat, with Chris Owings at second and Yasmani Tomas at first. 2 down, the Cubs will put the shift on against the left-hand hitting Herman, who's batting .279 with 5 home runs. Herman 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts. He started Wednesday night's game behind the plate in Houston. And they take strike 1. Pitcher spot up next, and Ricky Weeks Jr. is out in the on-deck circuit. Jake Barrett has sat down in the Diamondback bullpen. Now Tyler Clippard is up in front. The 0-1 to Herman. Missed inside, a ball and a strike. Big spot here for Chris. He went hitless in the series against the Astros with 5 strikeouts. Coming off a sensational month of May, hit .377 last month. Had 14 RBIs in 18 games. The Diamondbacks looking to tie this one up with a 2-out RBI hit. Instead, it's a roller into the shift. That's the end of the inning. Don't go anywhere, fans. We'll turn it over to Bob Brenly here at Wrigley Field.
Conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former Cubs broadcaster Bob Brenly.
Hey, hey! It's my granddaughter Gemma Rose. She wants you to sing it loud. Make Harry proud. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root, root, root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's you're out at the old ball game. All right.
Way to the rookie right-hander. Jake Barrett has come on for the Diamondbacks. He continues to impress. 21 starts, a 2.18 ERA. He has more strikeouts than hits allowed. He worked both Tuesday and Wednesday against Houston, and threw a total of 20 pitches his last 2 outings. Miguel Montero leads off the Chicago 7th. Changes for the Diamondbacks after they hit for Nick Ahmed in that spot. Looks like Chris Owings has taken over at shortstop. Michael Bourne in center and Brandon Drury in right. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks.
That was great.
It was fun. Little Gemma, she's a little camera shy. Next year she'll be ready.
Oh, she did good. She was there. You had the whole stage to yourself over there, too. That's usually Lenny and JD are right there.
At least moral support.
We tried to get your run, too, while you were over there.
I saw that.
Work out.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see. So we have Bourne in center now. And it's Chris Herman in right field. He'll stay in the game and take over in right. So after they hit for Ahmed, Owings at short, Bourne in center, and Herman in right field. There's Michael Bourne. And CO stays in the game, moves from center to shortstop. And Babe Herman plays right field. Montero, big swing and a miss. Barrett gets the strikeout, 1 down.
Jake Barrett's done an outstanding job out of the D-backs bullpen. Little fluttering change up or split or something there in the middle of the plate. Miggy swung right over the top of it.
Javier Baez. Baez 0 for 2. He struck out twice against Archie Bradley.
Two good sliders to start the sequence. One right in the middle of the strike zone for a called strike, and then leads him out of the zone with the second one. Well, if you are going to throw a fastball here to Baez, it has to be either up above the letters, off the outside corner of the plate, way off the inside corner of the plate. We're going to go right back with another slider. Nice.
Boy, 3 up and 3 down. Baez, all 3 swinging.
Hey fans, Native American Recognition Day is June 11th at Chase Field. Arrive early to the D-backs Marlins game to add the D-backs tribal cap to your collection this summer, courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Visit dbacks.com.
Pitcher spot up for the Cubs, and Jorge Soler comes up to hit for Adam Warren. Soler hitting .213 with 5 home runs. Another guy like Baez that has been striking out a lot lately. But Soler with his 5 homers, one of those came last Friday here against the Phillies. And he actually dented the video board in left field, hit it 461 feet and dented the scoreboard. A 24-year-old Cuban native. Barrett behind 2 balls in those games. But despite that, Soler has not exactly been a fan favorite here. He's striking out about 25% of the time he's up there. Joe Madden continues to get him at bats. There's a tremendous set of tools here with Soler. Great athlete, big power, run, throw, field. But it's pretty raw. Hit the scoreboard here, and Joe Madden said that would have been a great tee shot on a par 5. Here's the strike 3-1.
Physically, he reminds you a lot of Yasiel Puig of the Dodgers. You know, big and strong, skinny little waist, big wide shoulders.
6'4", 215. A walk for Jorge Soler. 2-out base on balls, and that'll bring up Dexter Fowler. Fowler 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Quick visit to the mound from Mike Butcher.
You know I'm not great at math, partner, but John Lackey's performance today lowers his ERA to 2.88, which means all 5 Cubs starters have an ERA under 3.
They win with starting pitching. Ooh. That's a great example. Of course, scoring, 7-8 runs a game helps too.
Yeah.
But that's a big reason why the Cubs came into today 37-15, holding an 8.5 game lead atop the NL Central. I bet that kind of consistent starting pitching just makes the whole team confident.
It does a lot of different things. It allows your offense to settle into a game. They don't feel like they have to score 20 runs to win a ball game. It allows your bullpen to get set up in a proper order, the way you want to pitch them late in the ball game, as opposed to, you know, getting into that bullpen in the third inning and just trying to find out who's healthy down there, who can give us a couple of innings. It really settles everything down in the game when your starter can go deep and hold the opposition down.
1-0 on Fowler.
Throwing hard today, 96, 97, a little extra life right at the end.
This is sky high. It's going to stay playable. Foul ground Segura over by the Diamondback bullpen. And they strand a 2-out walk. We will go to the 8th inning at Wrigley Field. Diamondbacks trail the Cubs 1-0. We start the 8th inning. Diamondbacks trail the Cubs. And Bob, you were mentioning that Chicago rotation, it's pitching at an historic level right now.
Yeah, everything you talk about, this Cubs team is at a historic level right now. But the 1972 Dodgers, behind Don Sutton, Claude Osteen, Bill Singer, Al Downing, and Tommy John, sub 3.25 ERA. The Cubs right there. That's updated for today's performance by John Lackey.
New pitcher for the Cubs, the right-hander Pedro Strop. And he's been very good. 24 appearances, an ERA well under 3. He's given up only 1 home run all year. Pitcher spot will lead it off for Arizona, and Ricky Weeks Jr. will be the hitter. Ricky coming off 2 very productive games as the DH in Houston. Started both those games. Had 2 hits Wednesday. Then yesterday it was Ricky Weeks' single that led off that big inning against Dallas Keuchel. 246 and 2 home runs. Ricky batting .280 as a pinch hitter this year. 4 doubles and 4 RBIs. A nice right-hand bat off the bench. 1-1. Jason Hayward, the left-hand hitter, is due to lead off the Chicago 8th, so Zach Curtis looks like he'll get the bottom of the 8th inning. He's warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. 2-2 on Ricky Weeks Jr. There's Zach. Carve it off for the bullpen coach. Jr. a few words with Hunter Wendelstedt on a borderline strike ball.
Yeah, it looked like a sinker that was off the plate away. Montero drags it back to that corner. Ricky's got a case.
You know, he hasn't given Lackey that pitch all day. Suddenly he's giving it to Pedro Strop.
Flip a coin.
Gene Segura has singled and struck out twice, 1 for 3.
Well, that becomes especially important in a game like today, a one-run ball game where every base runner, every pitch is so vitally important, and then you got an umpire that has a fluid strike zone. Sometimes it's a strike, sometimes it's not. Not fair to the players.
I mean, Ricky Weeks Jr. took that pitch as he should have, and now he's sitting on the bench. But Strop has been very tough. 7 straight scoreless outings coming into this one. There's a weird little motion there.
Yeah, he does a little abbreviated quick pitch as well. I was thinking maybe if we put the umpire stats in the paper every day, just like they do the players, it might pare down a little bit.
His strike calls, that kind of thing, strike percentage.
Yeah. Strikes that were called balls, balls that were called strikes.
Well, you go back to that first inning when Chris Bryant clearly swung through what should have been a 3rd strike to win the first inning against Archie Bradley, but it was a cross-up. Wellington Castillo had the pitch go right off his chest protector. Bryant swung, didn't come close to hitting it, but it was ruled a foul ball instead of a drop 3rd strike, and the inning continued. Bryant doubled, and Archie had to throw about 10, 12 more pitches in that inning to get Anthony Rizzo to ground out. Full count, 3-2. This is in the air to Jason Hayward in right field, fighting that sun and the wind. 2 outs.
Two hitters have struck out in this ball game already today, and certainly a lot of the credit has to go to John Lackey and Archie Bradley. They were pitching outstanding baseball today, but man, that's an extraordinarily high number of punch outs in a game.
Michael Bourne 0 for 3. He's punched out his last 2 times up. Lackey today struck out 9, walked 2. Diamondbacks will get Silvino Bracho up and throwing in their bullpen. So they have a right-hander and a left-hander getting ready. 1-1 on Michael Bourne. 2 balls on strike. Left field. Chris Bryant is there. Pedro Strop, a 1-2-3-8. Diamondbacks trailing 1-0. Diamondbacks trail the Cubs 1-0. First of a 3-game set here at Wrigley Field against the Cubbies. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Same two teams here tomorrow. Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way at 10:30 a.m. back home in the great state of Arizona. No, make that, I'll make it 9, no. 10, yeah, 10:30.
I told you I'm not good at math.
Where are we again? Edwin Escobar makes his second D-back start against Jason Hamill. Yeah, it's an 11:20 first pitch back home. So that's a 10:30 a.m. Diamondback Live pregame show, right? Back me up on this.
Whatever you say, partner.
Exactly. Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change is the rookie lefty Zach Curtis. 11 appearances in the big league, straight up from A-ball at Visalia. And Zach has given up just 3 hits in his first 8 2/3 innings. You've got 2 lefties due up here in the Cub 8th. Hayward, Bryant the righty is next, then the lefty Rizzo. Silvino Bracho still throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Hayward singled and scored the game's only run his last time up.
It's one of those situations where if Curtis gets Hayward right here, maybe you let him roll through Chris Bryant and then get Rizzo after Bryant. If Hayward would happen to reach, then maybe you go to Bracho then to face the right-handed hitting Bryant.
1-1.
You know, as far as tomorrow's time and everything, why would you ever change your channel anyway?
Good point.
Just turn it on. That's all.
Fair point. There's got to be a cup of coffee or something on there, right?
Sure.
Todd Walsh, Todd's garage. There's a little dribbler, going to be a tough play for Goldie. Hayward tries to slide under the tag head first, but they retire him. 1 away. Let's see how we want to play this. Here comes Chris Bryant, who is 1 for 3 with a double. Bracho continues to throw in the bullpen. I've just been handed a note by our highly reliable staff in this ballpark. There has never been a 1-0 game between the Cubs and the Diamondbacks.
Is that right?
Never. So it looks like they'll stick with Zach Curtis. Diamondbacks will put the shift on. They'll overload the left-hand side against Bryant. Well, Curtis, you know, he's got 4 pitches. Bryant's a guy that strikes out a lot. Another lefty coming up on deck. We'll get him, kid. Kid Bryant's only 24. And he hit him. Well, you know, that's happened to Zach a couple of times lately. He got charged with his first run of his major league career Wednesday against the Astros when he hit the first batter he faced, Marwin Gonzalez, and Gonzalez eventually came in to score. So Mike Butcher will pay a quick visit here, and they'll go over how to pitch to Rizzo.
Tried to throw that back foot slider. Unfortunately, threw it too far inside to start, and it just chased Bryant right out of the box, caught him on that left leg.
Trying to keep it a 1-0 game, BB, because you've got Goldie, Lamb, and Hayward, or Castillo due up in the 9th, 3, 4, and 5.
I'm just looking ahead here to the next hitter after Anthony Rizzo, Ben Zobrist, obviously a switch hitter. How would you rather have him at the plate? There's no good choice.
Yeah.
356 hitter as a right-hander with 2 home runs, 333 as a left-hander with 5 home runs. He walks a lot more as a left-handed hitter. I'd rather not have him at the plate at all.
Well, that's really why Joe Madden says he enjoys hitting Zobrist 5th instead of, say, leadoff or 2nd, because it allows him, he believes, to extend rallies, because Zobrist is so good at getting on base. So they'll work to Rizzo, who has grounded out, walked, and doubled. Strike 1. Shift is on. Jake Lamb standing right behind the second base umpire, Trip Gibson. Segura on the dirt midway between first and second. Goldie holding Bryant on the bag at first. 1-1 on Anthony Rizzo. In there for a strike, 1-2. Stays 2-2.
Even with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, Diamondbacks play that exaggerated pull shift on Rizzo occasionally against a left-handed hitter that you normally play to pull. Against a left-handed pitcher, you may play them back a little bit more straight up, respecting that breaking ball working away from the left-handed hitter.
Bryant heads for third. Jake Lamb in a foot race trying to beat Bryant to the bag. Meanwhile, the throw is into second, and they've got Rizzo. How about that? Nice play by Chris Herman to get down the line, get to that ball, and get Rizzo trying to stretch it into 2.
Wow. Saw some overly aggressive base running by Gene Segura earlier in the ball game. Same thing right here by Anthony Rizzo. That plays right in front of him, and he runs into an easy out there at second base.
9-4-6 on the putout. Owens covers the bag.
Well, looks like they want to challenge that play at second base.
Well, you know, sometimes the 8th inning you figure, what the heck?
You don't get to keep it on account for tomorrow's game. You might as well use it.
And the headsets are going on. A look at the play at second. They got a pretty good case looking at the video board here in left field. Watch the front foot. You know, if Owens had kept the glove down, they might have had an out because it looked like the foot or the leg came off the bag a bit, but CO picked that glove back up.
Yeah, it looked like the left foot came off before the right leg hit the base. There was just a brief split second there in between where it looked like Rizzo was not on the bag. Yeah, if he just holds the tag right down there. Yeah, tough to tell from that angle too.
Trip Gibson had a great look at it. He was right there. That's the second base umpire on the right. Hunter Wendelstadt, the crew chief, on the left. As we await word from New York. Funny thing about that, with Bryant going first to third, Bob, Jake Lamb was almost on the grass in right center. Jake had to sprint along with Bryant. They were running side by side for a while, each one trying to get to third before the other.
We've talked about those exaggerated pull shifts a lot this season. Not only the play, but once the ball is put into play, you have to be very aware of where your teammates are and who's responsible for covering which bag, who's responsible for the cutoff and relay. All things that I'm sure every team, not only the Diamondbacks, will tighten up moving forward.
Well, this is an extremely close play at second base. They keep showing it over and over here on the video board. The Cubs must think they have a case, and they might.
Well, he was on the bag briefly with the left foot, and then he slid off the inside part of second base before his right leg made contact with the bag. The question is, did CO have the tag on it?
Yes, he did. He is out at second. So the call stands. Now each team has had a runner erased, trying to stretch a single into a double.
That's a good thing because I'd already written it in my book.
Well, they have to back up the call. So it's a single for Rizzo. 9-4-6 is the putout at second. 2 outs. Bryant at third, and Zobrist will bat from the right-hand side against the lefty Curtis. Zobrist 0 for 2. He walked his last time up.
They're going to walk this time up too. They're going to take the bat right out of his hands, put it on Addison Russell, who just came into the ball game as a defensive replacement. might have to dig back through a lot of record books to find a time when a second baseman has drawn 2 intentional walks in a ball game. Maybe Jeff Kent, Joe Morgan, maybe, I don't know.
Those are good guesses.
Rhino. Doesn't happen very often for second baseman.
Well, you've got the right-hander Bracho ready in the bullpen. The right hand hitting Russell on deck. And they're on the corners with 2 down. Here comes Chip Hale. He will bring in Bracho to face Russell. 2 on and 2 out for the Cubs back after this. Backs bullpen trying to keep it that way. Cubs have runners on the corners, 2 down, and the new pitcher for Arizona is the 23-year-old right-hander Silvino Bracho, playing well in his 3rd big league stint with the Diamondbacks this year. He worked 1 inning in each of the 2 games against the Astros at Chase Field, and a quick 9-pitch 1-2-3 inning on Tuesday. Better results, Bob, from Bracho as of late than we saw earlier in the year.
Yeah, especially against right-handed hitters. In the 3 games he's pitched in since being recalled, righties are only 1 for 10 against him.
Addison Russell, 237 and 4 homers. The bat has been pretty quiet lately for Russell. Bryant at 3rd, Zobrist at 1st, 2 outs, and there's ball 1. Russell striking out 25% of the time he's up there. Hitless the last few games, so he was not in the starting lineup today. Did not miss it.
I made him swing and a miss at a slider off the outside corner on the pitch before, but that one actually looked like it backed up a little bit, stayed right on the inside part of the plate. With Jake Lamb drawn in at 3rd base, Russell able to just slap that ball by him down into the left field corner. And once again, Tomas really slow getting to the ball, which allowed Zobrist to come around all the way from 1st base and score.
First base open, and the left hand hitting Miguel Montero will get a free pass. It'll work to Baez, who has already struck out 3 times. That was the first hit in the ball game by either team with a runner in scoring position. And a 1-0 game has become 3-0 Chicago. This is the 6th base on balls being issued by D-backs pitchers today, but 3 of them have been intentional. So 2 on and 2 out now for Baez. Baez 0 for 3. He has struck out swinging all 3 times. Pitcher spot is up next for the Cubs. Matt Caesar has come out in the on-deck circle. Strike 1.
Pretty good chance that's the last fastball Baez sees in this sequence. He's been flailing at sliders off the outside corner of the plate all afternoon. Just make sure you get it out there. Right back with another fastball. Baez probably thinking the same way I am. Looked so bad on that slider, they got to go back to it. Instead, he takes 2 fastballs right down the heart of the plate.
Hector Rondon, the closer, has been warming up for the Cubs, but now Justin Grimm is up in front. Rancho ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Bourne at the track, at the wall, and he won't get there. Russell scores. They wave Montero. He will score, and it's a 2-run double.
Oh, man.
They throw it into the seats. The relay went into third. Instead, it sailed over the head of Jake Lamb and in the stands.
Baez a score on that play.
And the 8th inning has unraveled on the Diamondbacks.
Poor pitch selection, poor pitch location, and a really bad relay here. Ball hits off the base of the fence out there for Michael Bourne. He chases it down, gets it back in. I'm not sure if Chris Owings just didn't have a good grip on that ball or what, but he airmails it all the way over everybody, and Baez was stopped at second base.
A double and 2 RBIs for Javier Baez. He scores on the error. It's now 6-0, and Tim Fedorovich, one of 3 catchers on the Cub roster, will hit from the pitcher spot. Rondon, the closer, will sit down now. No need for him. E6, a double and 2 RBIs. 0-1 on Fedorovich. Fighting the sun and the wind, and he drops the ball. It hung up there forever. You could see Chris shielding his eyes. The throw into first is thrown away, and it's turned into a snowball fight out there. It hung up a long time for Chris Herman in right field. He could see him trying to shade his eyes, and it got up in that wind.
He got to the ball okay. Just a one-handed casual catch off to the side, hits the heel of his glove. Gets on the ball alertly, throws it into Chris Owings at second base as Fedorovich was crawling back to the bag at first, and another bad throw by Chris Owings. Boy, he's had a rough day defensively. Don't forget that ball he misplayed in center field early in the game.
That was the first run in what for a long time was a 1-0 ball game. Dexter Fowler, 9th man to bat and the Cub 8th. Seven consecutive have reached for Chicago.
This is not one you want to put in a time capsule. The early part of the ball game was just an outstanding pitcher's duel between Archie Bradley and John Lackey. The end of this ball game has gotten ugly.
Yeah, Archie certainly deserved a much better fate, but it was still a ball game. The Diamondbacks only down 1 for a long time.
You know, Chip has talked about cleaning up the middle part of the ball game, which Archie did all by himself today.
Yeah, sure did.
But now the pitchers that usually pitch in the middle part of the ball game are here at the end of the game, and it's been a rough go.
Archie worked 6 innings, gave up only 4 hits, walked 3, and struck out 10. He was ahead in the count all day long. He did just what you'd hoped he'd do, but it has not worked out. 2-2 now on Dexter Fowler. And the Diamondbacks had their chances, Bob. They got 2 on in the second, 2 on in the fourth, and 2 on in the seventh, and could not score a run. It hit him. They're signaling it hit him on the arm, so Fowler's aboard. And the Cubs have batted around in the 8th inning. Second hit batter in the inning. And now 8 consecutive Cubs have reached base.
Tough to tell from that angle, but Fowler immediately dropped his bat. After taking a look inside, Chip decides it's not worth the challenge.
So here's Hayward to let off the inning by grounding out. Fedorovich at second and Fowler at first.
That's what good teams do. They look for an opening. They find a way to win ball games. Teams that aren't so good find ways to lose ball games. This was a big game. You hope to steal the first game of this series with pitching that we're going to see the rest of this series. It seemed like it was the most winnable game, at least on paper, going in.
That one goes through Castillo, and everybody moves up. And got Edward Escobar pitching. Tomorrow, we know how Escobar struggled his first time out. Then he faced Jake Arrieta here Sunday.
Well, just came up with the glove ever so slightly, but it was enough for that ball to sneak underneath. Didn't take the kind of hop Wellington was anticipating. Instead, it skidded on that loose dirt behind home plate and got right underneath.
struck him out, and a long 8th inning finally comes to an end. We'll go to the 9th. Diamondbacks have their work cut out for them, down 6-0. Wrigley Field, Archie Bradley was tremendous again today. 6 innings of 4-hit baseball. He walked only 3, had 10 strikeouts. But things unraveled in an ugly 5-run 8th inning. The Diamondbacks threw the ball all over the field, several defensive breakdowns, and now they trail 6-0. Justin Grimm on to finish up for Chicago.
A couple of hit by pitch in that inning, 2 intentional walks. They both came around to score. It just really came unglued.
Paul Goldschmidt, Jake Lamb, and Wellington Castillo due up 3, 4, and 5 in the Diamondback 9th inning. You see the numbers on Grimm, his 23rd appearance. Goldie so far 0 for 3 today.
The D-backs pitchers could have found a way to put one more 0 on the board there in that 8th inning. I like your chances back from a 1-run deficit in the 9th with the guys we got coming up to the plate, but it'll be tough to score 6 now.
Well, the Cubs just got 5, so hope for the best. 0-1 to go lead. D-backs lost 3 of 4 to Chicago in the 2nd series of the season. It was back in April at Chase Field. They got outscored in that series 27-14. And he had a fresh set of afternoon games this weekend to look forward to. This one got away from him quickly in that 8th inning, 0-2. This is out to right center field. That one drops in for a base hit. Goldie will take the turn and head for second, and he is in there with his 8th double.
I know, and 2. Grimm goes up and away with a fastball. Goldie just kind of guides it out there to that gap in right center field for a hustle double.
Well, that's the way to get it started. Jake Lamb 1 for 3. Jake had a single in the 4th inning.
And Jake got robbed back in the 2nd inning on a line drive to right field. Jason Hayward made a nice leaping running catch almost to the warning track out there in right center field.
Yeah, Jake has really swung the bat well lately, hitting better than .320 in his last 16 games, including 5 homers. Check there, and he's down 0-2. Grimm's been out ahead here. He was ahead of Goldie, ahead of Lamb. Cubs pitchers today. This is how you win ball games. 27 of 31 first pitch strikes. Missed a 94 and it's 2-2. Home at second.
Goldie gets some help from Matt Williams there as Russell was late breaking to the bag at second. As a base runner at second, you can see the second baseman out of your peripheral vision, but certainly you can't see the shortstop standing behind you.
Over the mound, Russell there at shortstop. Goldie moves up to third. They throw out Lamb for the first out in the ninth. Wellington Castillo now. Well, he has a couple of hits, both singles, 2 for 3.
Well, under normal circumstances, you'd say that was a productive at bat by Jake Lamb, moving Goldie up to third base with 1 out in the inning. But trailing by 6 runs, we wanted to see Jake hit a ball up in the seats.
Trying to gap something, looking for a bunch of base runners. Castillo says 2 for 3 on the bubblegum card, but it's not exactly been the most impressive 2 for 3 ever. A little swing and bunt that stayed fair, and then a broken bat bloop single to center, but he'll take it every time.
Take one more of those right now.
Pitcher. The first pitch strike by a Cub pitcher. Make it 0-2. Edwin Escobar tomorrow against right-hander Jason Hamill for Chicago. Then Sunday, how about this pitching matchup? Patrick Corbin versus Jake Arrieta. Arrieta is 9-0 with a 1.56 ERA. He pitches Sunday. And we'll see what we get tomorrow from Edwin Escobar, the left-hander acquired on waivers from Boston. One ball and 2 strikes. Got him.
Breaking balls and then a fastball. Actually 3 breaking balls and then a fastball in that inside corner.
Well, this one might not be going the way D-backs fans and the Owings family wanted it, but we want to pass along before the end of the ball game our best wishes to the Owings family. Chris's brother Connor Owings is playing today in an NCAA regional game with Coastal Carolina. The Chanticleers are taking on Tom Candiotti's St. Mary's team in a College World Series regional game. And Chris's brother Connor was named Big South Player of the Year. He's hitting almost .340 at Coastal Carolina. He's got 15 homers, so they have a big game against St. Mary's today. Of course, you go to the field at St. Mary's, and there's a big Tom Candiotti jersey up against the wall with his name on it. So it's Owings v. Candiotti in Raleigh today. Coastal Carolina versus St. Mary's. 2-0 on CO.
Six-run lead in the ninth with 2 outs, and Grimm is still rolling breaking balls up there on a 2-0 count. It's his game. Try to get back in the count. He's just as likely to throw a slider as he is a fastball.
Did it again, 2-2. Diamondback Live post-game show is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Should be an interesting Chip Hale session after this one. the sloppier innings the Diamondbacks have played all year. Full count 3-2. And nothing drives Chip crazier than sloppy defense. He'll take, a slow day offensively, a poor pitching performance, but when the defense lets him down, that's when he really gets upset.
Especially after last season when the Diamondbacks seemingly made every play, especially the big ones when they had to.
3-2, 2 outs. Got him. And that's the ball game. The Diamondbacks drop the opener this 3-game set here at Wrigley Field. 6-0. Archie Bradley was sensational once again. For the longest time, it was a 1-0 ball game, but things got away from the D-backs in that 8th inning.
Yeah, no question about it. And that's the positive to take away. Archie Bradley backing up that outstanding performance against the Padres with another really good performance against a tough Chicago Cubs offense here today. After that, I got nothing to say.
Well, the fans here have the Go Cubs Go song. We'll be back from Wrigley Field. D-backs drop the opener 6-0.